guys, I'm sorry. I'm like old school Italian. This is just the way I f***ing am.
Pulling someone's hair is not old school, it's psychotic.
We're gonna kick it old school today. Welcome back. I'm still hanging out with this housewife who's not afraid to roll anyone over. Jackie Goldschnieder, how's it going?
It's going great.
First time on the show, you're feeling good?
I feel great. I love being here.
Oh,
I can listen to your voice all day. I love it. It's got that like raspy, sexy thing going on.
Oh, I will record voice notes, whatever you want.
I love it. You can record my outgoing message when we're done.
Yes. All right, let's get into the drama happening on the Real Housewives of New Jersey right now, because it's a little intense. I mean, I think that water pour and then the hair pull is going down as a great reality moment in history. Although it looked so intense. Jackie, what was it like being there and witnessing that? I mean, did you think that Danielle was gonna pull it out of her head?
No, and actually the truth is that when Danielle dumped all of Margaret's stuff into the fire, you don't really see that everything really was on fire in that candle, that $600
$695 candle, that's
right.
number one.
So I took Margaret's phone out from there. Margaret is one of my best friends.
She's a sweetheart.
So I took her phone out because it was covered in wax, and I went into the back in the bathroom. So I didn't see Danielle pull her hair because I was cleaning the wax off her phone in the bathroom because I didn't want it to stick too long and destroy her phone.
That's a friend, by the way.
Yeah,
that's
so
a friend.
When I heard her scream, I came running out of the bathroom, but I missed the hair pull.
And so your first time seeing it was watching it in the episode?
Yeah.
Was it described
oh my
well?
God. I mean, but I saw Margaret right after she got her hair pulled, and I was so upset for her. I've never seen her that upset.
I mean, you said it best. It's not old school to pull someone's hair.
It's crazy.
Like,
who does that? You can't
psychotic.
put your hands on somebody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like Margaret poured water because she kept badgering her and kept, like, she was in her face, right?
She was in her face. I mean, she even pushed me, Danielle.
Yeah.
She, like, was really on fire, and, like, she was getting very up close and personal. She was invading personal space.
It was heavy. And then Dolores' reaction was actually pretty diplomatic. Let's watch that clip.
I know what Teresa's thinking, because if someone threw the water on her, she would have hit them right there. I have a hair trigger temper. I would have done the same thing. But Teresa has to understand, when that blind rage comes over you, you can't assault somebody. You can't physically harm them. Teresa should know more than anybody. It's not worth it.
I mean, yeah, and like, you're all moms. Like, you want to set a good example for your kid. You know, you and Dolores have had your differences in the past, or in Jamaica, rather. But what's your reaction to this and her reaction to it?
I mean, she's right. Dolores and I are in a lot better place than we were in Jamaica. So once we made up in Jamaica, we really worked on our relationship and getting to know each other. So we're in a good place. I think that Dolores was exactly right. Like, it is understandable why Danielle would be so upset if someone poured water on me. And I'm actually not like a very like hair trigger person, but if someone poured water on me, I'd probably go crazy. But you can't physically assault somebody.
Right, it's different.
It's
like,
different.
There's a different level here.
Pour water back, but once you physically empty someone's purse and all their belongings and money and phone and everything into a fire, I'd be good, personally.
Yeah.
I'd feel like, okay, I got revenge. I don't need to rip your hair out now. Right. But, apparently it wasn't enough for Danielle.
Do you think if Danielle had the capability to just walk away from that fight, you would have thought differently about her and you would have been like, wow, that's really mature?
I might have thought a little bit differently about her. I might have thought not really mature because she was in everyone's faces and she has done terrible things before this. But I might have thought that she had some self-control.
Yeah, which would have been a positive experience for all of us.
Right.
And Jennifer, who you also had issues with earlier this season, was very reasonable as well. Let's watch this as well.
To me, I was sticking up for my friends.
None of us see what you see.
You should also be sticking up for this friend.
Well said, Jennifer. It seems like after everything, the Margaret-Danielle situation is something you can all agree on, except Teresa. Do you think this has brought you and the girls closer together in some weird way?
No, not really.
Really?
I think that the people I was good with, I'm good with regardless of Danielle, and the people that I dislike, Danielle had no impact on that. But I think it was nice to all be in agreement about something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think, and I think it benefited Margaret, which is very important to me. Margaret felt supported, which is important, but it didn't really make me like anyone I don't like.
Why? What do you think is at the heart of Teresa's blind loyalty to Danielle?
I think that Teresa is the type of person who needs to be personally affected by something in order for her to feel like somebody's a bad person. And if you don't do her wrong, she's not going to go against you, which I think could be a very good thing. She's loyal.
Right.
And she doesn't just listen to hearsay. She doesn't, just listen to gossip. She wants to make her own decisions and her own judgments about people, which is a good thing. But I think that, sometimes that can blind you to the fact that someone's not a good person.
Yeah, and she's not shy of her own Danielle drama. I mean, the famous table flip, I mean, that's the iconic reality
I watched
moment.
that at home in my pajamas on my couch.
Everyone knows it, even if they don't watch the
Yeah.
show, they know that show. So I'm just kind of surprised that she doesn't kind of understand where you girls seem to be coming from, given she's had her own bad experiences.
Well, maybe she feels badly about the repercussions from that, as Danielle has explained it, the way it affected her children, the way it affected her.
Fair.
So maybe in the back of her head, she still feels some guilt.
Yeah, no, and listen, and that's real, and it did affect the daughters. Well, let's switch gears, because you've never really held back on the show, and I really appreciate you being so open about having an eating disorder in the past and how you're dealing with that with your family. Let's take a look at this clip.
Ever since I took my kids to visit my dad, I've been thinking a lot about what he said.
You're a good inspiration to kids who are heavy.
Dad, I almost died.
It's almost worth it.
But what's even more upsetting to me is the fact that my kids were sitting right next to me and overheard him saying that.
First off, your son looks exactly like Evan, and
Oh my
it's like
God, they
really
are
freaky. And I'm
duplicates.
like, is that Evan? Like,
I know. It's really funny. And he
identical.
doesn't see it. It's so funny. He can't see it.
I look at him and it's spitting image.
I know,
mean,
everybody.
it could be his brother.
It's a little Evan.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
So, all right, how much do your kids know about your past? How open with them are you?
Well, since the show, I've started telling them. I never shared it with them before. By the time I really recovered from the biggest parts of my eating disorder, because I still have little snippets of it here and there, but when I really started eating regular meals again, they were still babies, really. So they did see me for a few years not eating, but by the time they really realized what was going on, I was eating again. So, but I never felt like I needed to talk to them about it. This has opened up a lot of conversations. When I was growing up, I didn't know how to eat healthy. So it was like you either eat like a lot or you don't eat anything. That's the way we dieted back in like the 80s, you know? It was like you got your Melba toast and cottage cheese and that's all you ate.
No moderation.
Or you were like heavy, you know? So I really wanted them to know how to eat healthy. And I wanted them to understand you can eat, dessert and heavy food sometimes, but not all the time, and the value of physical exercise, just so they never ended up in a situation where they were overweight and didn't know how to lose weight anyway, except for like killing themselves or a fad diet or something like that.
I saw a lot of comments about what your dad had said to you watching that back, and I'm sure that was pretty painful to relive again. How did you sort of deal with that, and do you know where your dad was coming from?
Yeah, well, absolutely. I think my dad had a poor choice of words. There is no way. I mean, my father and I are very, very close. There is no chance that he meant like it's worth almost dying to be thin.
Of course.
I think that the larger context of the conversation was that I was very unhappy being heavy in high school. I was very heavy, and I hated the way that I looked. And for a long time, I did things that my parents didn't know about. I didn't share with anybody. I had horrible eating habits. I tried to hide everything. And you could see me getting very skinny, but you didn't know exactly how because I was very good at hiding it. So, of course, my dad didn't know. All he knew was that I went from being a miserable, heavy kid in high school to being a really confident woman with a really great body. And somehow I got there. And for him, however you got there, it was worth it because he didn't know what I was doing to myself. So that's what he meant. And I did feel bad because the whole world will interpret it the way that they will. But I think that as the season plays out and towards the later part of the season, you'll see that my father and I come back again to have another talk about it. And
good.
I think that you get a deeper sense of understanding of where he's coming from.
Do you let your kids watch the episodes with you?
I do, although when we talked about the part where I do or don't do certain things to my husband.
I got to talk to you about that.
I was like, kids, you might want to like take a hike for a few minutes. Yeah,
This lesbian has questions for you, Jackie.
I didn't let them watch that.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, last week's episode was actually full of many real moments, and I want to play this clip from when Teresa and Dolores have a heart-to-heart about her situation with Joe.
Hey, did that prenup say that he can't get a lot from you? Because you're the one making the money now.
I have no idea.
I'd be looking at it real clear. Because the way he spoke to you makes me feel like, God forbid, things don't work out, he's going to feel like you owe him.
Watching this, what's your reaction to that?
Well, the lawyer in me, first of all, is like, I mean, I never practiced Jersey law, but I think any prenup is really going to cover what you before you got married. Like, they're still married right now. So whatever she's making, it's very unlikely that that's going to be in a prenup and say that, like, what she is making during the course of their marriage is only hers. Like, there's very little chance probably that that's going to happen. So that's what the lawyer in me was thinking. But also I was thinking that it's very smart of Dolores to at least put into Teresa's head that she should start arranging things in a way that protects her and her children.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we've learned in Teresa's life it's important to read contracts and everything like that. We definitely hope that she's doing that.
Exactly. Dolores gives good advice.
She does. She's a good friend. The mid-season trailer has dropped, and it looks like we have so much more to see. What can you tell us about the rest of the season?
Well, I will just say that I feel like the season is so good, but the first half of it, I maybe come off a tiny bit whiny. Like, I was whining about the bullying for the first few episodes, then I'm whining about food, and like, it's all very real things to me, but I think the second half of the season, you see a lot more fun out of me. And Evan's on the show, and Evan is my, like, ride or die. So I love that he's on it with me. I think you see a lot of fun, a lot of drama, a lot of inappropriate behavior.
Of course.
Really inappropriate, a lot of drinking, a lot of friendship. I mean, there's just a lot of everything that makes a reality show so great.
Did we see Frank Catania and Joe Gorga make out on, I think, a trailer? I saw them kiss or something. I'm sure that's a little wild.
They did kiss.
Does Evan like being on camera?
He is so much better now this season than he was last season. Evan's gotten a very good reception. People really like him. Like, it confounds, like, people are so besides themselves that I don't give that man head, because they are like, I will blow him for you. I got so many offers on Twitter of people to blow my husband for me.
Well, everyone was like, Evan, I mean, we feel for you. Blink twice, buddy.
People are like, what are you getting him for Valentine's Day? I'm like, I think it has to be a blowjob, right?
Clearly.
At this point.
As you said, Jewish girls don't give head, though.
Well,
so
except on Valentine's Day.
Except
right?
on Valentine's Day. He is a big hit. We're big fans.